I've been thinking about building some kind of complex patch for MIDI guitar and without the DAW, so I want to use as much of the possibilities that are inherent in the software itself. So I'm just thinking, you get to follow me here, building a patch from scratch and see what possibilities there are. Is my default setting for MIDI guitar, and now I'm only using the MIDI guitar software, of course. I'm thinking of this like something for live setting. So let's start with putting everything at 12 to begin with. That's my start out position as per usual. I am going to use a breath controller in this patch as well, so I'll put in the band range at once. I can use 12 or 2 or whatever here, so I'll just use 2, and you get to see how to deal with the plugins from that. Aftertouch, so let's go to the SWAM instruments. And this is a cool feature. I actually haven't seen it from before, but the presets from within that VST are actually visible in the MIDI guitar interface. So I'll just use the Miles preset from the SWAM trumpet. Let's put a reverb on the master effects out. I'm going to use my own preset from that one. So this is the master FX reverb now, so it's gonna account for both of these instruments. So I'm gonna run MIDI in parallel to the audio, something I don't usually do, but in this case I thought it'd be interesting because then I can separate these two by using the breath controller. I'll use my Pliny Humble Beginnings, yeah. No reverb, since I already have a reverb on the outgoing Master FX, and I'm gonna pull back on the gain a bit here, as well as take some treble off, mostly because I can't put back on the treble on the guitar anymore. I usually do that. I've usually used the mic, the neck mic, which is not appropriate now since I'm gonna be triggering some MIDI instrument as well, and then I want full on for volume and full on for treble on guitar always. Now, and I'm going to use another effect as well, just so you get a feel for how much is actually possible to use here. So I'll use a favorite of mine. This is Portal from Output. It allows for a lot of weird shit, so I'll have this. So now I have my trumpet here. I'm just gonna look at that because most likely it's not gonna be sounding anything yet. As you see, I have the traditional warning expression controller not received, and that's because I haven't decided on whether to use the breath controller or the keyboard preset yet, but I'm going to use the breath controller for this one. So then you get to go into the MIDI and the presets, and here is a whole array of different versions of presets you can use for the MIDI mapping. In this case, I'm going to use the breath controller to not have anything triggered by anything else but the breath controller. Now you saw that warning sign disappear as soon as I blow into this. I can take that away, so let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna have my guitar on full volume and full tone, and as well I'm gonna use this mic as well instead of this. That would normally, in the case where I want a better guitar sound, I would use the neck pickup, of course, but to get this to trigger the best, this is the best options. So now let's watch. Now pitch bend here is put on 12, so that won't match this one. So either I change the pitch bend here or here. That doesn't matter really for these purposes. So I'll just match these with the two. What I haven't told you yet is how to connect the breath controller to the MIDI guitar software, and this is something you do here. Go into interface, and you have control here. If I click on it, I have the options. No MIDI controller, I have my keyboard audio interface, I have my breath controller, I have some Panda audio MIDI beam, that's my foot pedal connection. But in this case I'm using this one, so you can see what happens if I choose no MIDI controller and try to play. Nothing. Breath controller engaged. So now I'll raise the gain here. You hear some funny sounds. That's what I want because that's out of Portal. Okay, so this I'm sure is sounding rather weird to you, but I'm gonna put this in a context where yes, you can see what I'm looking for with a complex but playable patch like this. Yeah, so this is what a complex patch would look like when you have both a MIDI instrument and the audio from the guitar coming through simultaneously. and perhaps, like I did here, control the one with a breath controller, expression controller, or you could have both sound at the same time. Doesn't really matter, it's up to you. But I mean, as far as this goes, this is a really powerful little software to use even for live circumstances. So yeah, it's up to you and your imagination to get it to work for you. Thanks.